Diet myth number 1, coconut oil is the best fat source.
So the thing about coconut oil is that it's not going to kill you, but it's not exactly going to solve all of your life problems either.
So coconut oil rose to fame because it's an MCT, which is a medium chain triglyceride, and unlike long chain triglycerides, MCTs are digested and absorbed a bit faster.
Yeah, so they just get into your bloodstream and they can go up to your liver and be metabolized at a quicker rate. But the thing about coconut oil is that it is predominantly a saturated fat. And the dietary recommendations are that only a maximum of 10% of your total daily calories come from saturated fat. So for someone consuming around 2,000 calories a day, this would be 200 calories worth dedicated to saturated fat, which equates to around 22 grams of coconut oil or close to 1.5 tablespoons. So it's pretty much the maximum.
Yeah, and the thing with coconut oil is that it is pretty devoid of other nutrients, and compared to other types of oil like extra virgin olive oil, which is one of our favorites, which is higher in vitamin E and other phytonutrients such as hydroxytyrosol.
Yeah, and hydroxytyrosol, that can relieve inflammation in the body.
So our take on coconut oil is that there probably are better fat sources out there that you can incorporate into your diet.
But a little bit, it's not gonna kill you. Hey guys, and welcome back for another video. So for those of you who are new to the channel, my name is Tyarra, this is Jack, and we are both dietitians and nutritionists here from Australia. Now, during our past few years of working in the industry, we've definitely come across a few diet myths.
That's for sure.
So we thought that today we would try to bust some of them.
Yep, let's get stuck into it.
Now, moving on to diet myth number 2. Celery is a negative calorie food.
So for those who don't know, what is a negative calorie food?
So a negative calorie food, I would assume, is a type of food that has calories in it, but it actually requires your body more calories in order to digest and absorb and metabolize that food. But unfortunately, the thing is, there is no such thing as a negative calorie food. And think about it, guys. This wouldn't have been the most intelligent move by Mother Nature to make negative calorie foods, because the whole purpose of food is to provide organisms with energy so that they can live and so that they can maintain their weight and so that they can grow.
Yeah, and celery is a vegetable. It has a high hydration capacity, it has lots of water, has a few little vitamins and minerals in there as well. But essentially, as Tyarra said, it's not a negative calorie food. Some people, or it may have originated being a negative calorie food for some people because of something called the thermic effect of food, which is something that we use, or the amount of energy we use to digest and absorb that food. But unfortunately, yeah, you won't lose any fat by eating a kilo of celery per day.
The average stalk of celery has like 10 calories in it, so it is fairly insignificant. So it's not likely to take you over your energy budget unless you are really getting amongst that celery, but it still does have some energy.
Diet myth number 3, the sugar in fruit is equivalent to candy.
Ooh, so it is true that both fruit and candy contain sugar. However, every single carbohydrate containing food on this planet contains sugar, even your kale leaves. So sugar is more of an umbrella term. So all of the carbohydrate containing food that we eat, it does contain sugars. So these can be broken into monosaccharides, which are single sugars. So we've got glucose, fructose, and galactose. And in our foods, those are usually found in the disaccharide form. So we've got maltose, sucrose, and lactose, and they're also found in polysaccharides too, which are like longer chains of sugar.
Yeah, so basically I think what people are thinking is that the sugar in fruit is akin to table sugar that you might put in your tea or coffee. And essentially, as Tyarra said, everything is broken down to sugars eventually by the body. That's how it's digested and absorbed.
Glucose is number 1.
Yeah, that's right. However, the difference between fruit and candies is that fruit will contain a myriad of other nutrients, such as dietary fiber, vitamins and minerals, and phytonutrients as well. So at the end of the day, they are not similar at all.
Completely different.
Yeah. Diet myth number 4. Peanut butter is a great source of protein.
Now, there's a difference between a food having a nutrient and then a food being a great source of that nutrient.
Yeah, exactly. And an analogy I like is that you don't drink your martinis to get the olives.
No, you do not. But we're not denying that peanut butter doesn't have any protein, but it's just not the best source of protein.
Yeah, 100%. And when I look at protein, I look at quality and quantity. So in order to get a decent quantity of protein from peanut butter, the amount of calories we would need to consume from peanut butter would be very high.
So in order to get around 25 grams of protein from peanut butter, you need to consume around 580 calories. Compared to something like chicken breast, 25 grams of protein from chicken breast would only be around 120 calories.
Big difference there.
Big difference.
And we also have to mention quality as well. So quality when it comes to protein, there are a few different factors, but the main one is essentially that it contains all 9 of the essential amino acids in adequate quantity. And the issue with peanut butter is that it's lacking some of those essential amino acids, one of the main ones being methionine. So at the end of the day, I wouldn't be having any peanut butter as your main source of protein after your gym session.
Yeah, but enjoy drizzling it on top of your protein cakes.
Yeah.
Diet myth number 5. Eggs will give you high cholesterol.
Wow, that's quite the statement. And it is true that eggs do contain cholesterol, but that does not necessarily mean that they will directly influence your blood cholesterol levels. And in fact, the Heart Foundation, ourselves, and the CSIRO all recommend regular egg consumption because they're high in protein and they're also high in other micronutrients as well.
And elevated blood cholesterol levels, namely LDL and VLDL, that's usually a result of chronically having a dietary pattern that's low in fiber, low in fruits and vegetables, and also contains a high amount of processed items and saturated sources of fat from like really fatty cuts of meat. And usually it's coincided with a pretty sedentary lifestyle too. So it's not just eggs that are to blame, man. There's a lot of contributing factors.
Yeah, ultimately, keep up your egg intake unless your doctor says otherwise. And just remember that your cholesterol levels are probably going to be more affected by your lifestyle habits.
6th and final diet myth of the day. Fresh vegetables are more nutritious than frozen vegetables.
Great. Well, a juicy one to end on, pun intended. And essentially the reason why frozen vegetables are just as great as fresh vegetables is because they're basically picked at peak ripeness when nutrient quality and quantity is at its highest, and they're snap frozen after as well. Whereas on the other hand, fresh vegetables are picked slightly before peak ripeness, which means nutrient quality and quantity is not at its highest, and they need to allow some time for it to ripen on the way to your shelves.
Yeah, and we've all seen a green banana or two on the supermarket shelves, that's for sure. And that thing just ain't ripe.
No, it's not.
But another thing to take into consideration is oxidation. So compared to those snap frozen vegetables, which aren't exposed to oxygen because they're sitting in your freezer nice and happy and frozen, these fresh vegetables during transportation, sitting on the supermarket shelves, then when you finally buy them, take them home, put them on your fridge shelf, they're continuously exposed to oxygen. And oxidation, it can degrade the nutrient quality of some foods and some nutrients, particularly vitamin C, which you'll find in a lot of your fruits and vegetables. And you can generally identify when a fruit or a vegetable is oxidizing because it starts to turn brown.
Or wilt.
Yeah, so imagine like a head of lettuce and the ends of the leaves start to wilt and start to turn brown. Unfortunately, your lettuce, it's oxidizing.
Yeah. So, moral of the story, frozen vegetables are great and don't avoid them.
But fresh vegetables are great too, but just try to limit the amount of oxygen they're exposed to. So wrapping them up in a bag like that's sealed tight, or straight after you buy them, eat those things because they're good for you.
Yeah. So that's it for today, guys. 6 out of 6 diet myths busted, and we had a great time doing this one. Please let us know if there are any other diet myths or any other topics you would like us to bust.
And of course, if you did enjoy this video, please remember to like it, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, and we will see you in that next one.
Catch you guys.